So they break it down.
Let's start with grief.
Right. As you mentioned, this is disenfranchised grief. Nobody sends you a sympathy card when you lose custody. There is no funeral to mark the transition. It is a haunting that hits you in the most mundane moments.
Like at the grocery store.
Exactly. It hits you in the grocery store when you absent-mindedly reach for their favorite brand of cereal, only to realize you don't need to buy it. Or you're at a park alone and you see another family pushing a swing, and the physical pain in your chest drops you to your knees.
And running parallel to that grief is shame. The workbook refers to shame as the hidden burden. I really appreciate how they personify it.
Yeah, they describe shame as a insidious liar.
It isolates you in that quiet house
Mm.
and just whispers in your ear that you are fundamentally broken. Shame tells you that you are unworthy of love, that you're a failure as a human being, and that you are entirely beyond redemption. Shame makes you want to close the blinds, turn off your phone, and hide from the world.
And we must draw a thick, dark line between shame and our next emotion, guilt.
Because they're different.
Very different. They feel similar in the body, but psychologically they operate completely differently. Shame says, I am bad. Guilt says, I did something bad.
Right.
Guilt is the crushing, suffocating weight of the what-ifs. What if I hadn't sent that angry text message? What if I had worked more hours to make more money? What if I hadn't trusted the wrong person with my vulnerabilities? Guilt keeps you perpetually anchored in the past, forcing your brain to replay the tape of your worst moments over and over again.
Searching for the exact second you could have magically fixed everything. I can imagine a parent lying in bed at 3 in the morning, endlessly scrolling through old text messages with their ex, analyzing every word, torturing themselves with how they could have phrased things differently.
It's the 3 a.m. doom loop.
How does a brain break out of that loop? Because the guilt feels so incredibly necessary. It feels like if you stop feeling guilty, it means you just don't care.
That right there is the psychological trap. The workbook makes a crucial distinction between guilt and responsibility. Guilt actually masquerades as responsibility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it tricks your brain into feeling productive. It tells you, look at how much I am agonizing over my past mistakes. Look at how much I am suffering. Therefore, I am taking this seriously. But guilt is ultimately paralyzing. It keeps you entirely self-focused on your own pain.
So what's true responsibility then?
True responsibility is a completely different mechanism. True responsibility is looking at the past with clear, unflinching eyes and saying, yes, that happened. Yes, my actions contributed to that outcome. And then this is the key, using that acknowledgement to choose entirely different actions moving forward. Responsibility is active, forward-moving, and focused on the solution. Guilt is passive, backward-looking, and focused on the pain.
That is profound. Guilt is staring at the wreckage. Responsibility is picking up a shovel.
Yes.
And the antidote to that paralyzing guilt, according to the sources, is self-compassion and forgiveness. But people hear, forgive yourself, and they think it means letting themselves off the hook for things they actually did wrong.
Right, but forgiving yourself does not mean you are letting yourself off the hook. It means you are untying the hook from your own flesh so you can actually walk forward. You cannot build a bridge if you are chained to a boulder of your own making.
Such a powerful image. And then, of course, we arrive at anger.
Anger.
Anger in family court is the ultimate double-edged sword. And let's be honest, the anger is usually entirely justified. It is born from the very real pain, the very real delays, and the very real injustices of a legal system that often feels cold and arbitrary.
We must validate that anger completely. It is a completely natural, biological, and logical response to feeling powerless. It is the natural response to being misunderstood, lied about, and having the most precious thing in your entire life regulated by strangers in black robes who have known you for maybe 15 minutes.
It's infuriating.
The M.O.M project does not patronize you by telling you to just stop being angry. That would be impossible. Instead, it asks you to interrogate the anger. When the heat rises in your chest, ask yourself, what specific boundary is being violated right now? And more importantly, how can this intense energy be channeled?
So using it as fuel.
Exactly. Can it be used as fuel to power your endurance rather than a destructive acid that eats away at the very bridge you are trying to build?
To help process this, the workbook offers an exercise called releasing judgment. And I want to walk through how powerful this is.
Please do.
I want you, listening right now, to picture this scenario. Imagine a close friend, someone you love dearly, comes over to your house. They sit at your kitchen table, tears streaming down their face, and they confide in you about their custody situation. And it is the exact same situation you are in.
Same mistakes, same everything.
Same mistakes.
Hmm.
They have the exact same court orders, the same restrictive visitation. What compassionate, comforting words would you say to them in that moment? You would never look your best friend in the eye and say, you know what, you're a monster, you failed, you don't deserve your kids.
Never.
You would hold their hand and say, you are going through absolute hell. You made some mistakes, but I know your heart, I love you, and we are going to figure out how to fix this. So the exercise asks a devastatingly simple question. Why is it so incredibly hard to turn that exact same voice inward?
The psychology behind that is fascinating. We hold ourselves to an impossible standard of perfection that we would never, ever demand of someone we love. We believe our own inner critic is delivering objective, unvarnished truth, when in reality, that inner critic is just repeating the trauma and the systemic judgment we've absorbed.
So true.
We have to consciously practice talking to ourselves as if we were our own best friend.